Another one that's doing the rumors, talking of blockbuster fights, as we know, Donald Cerrone versus Conor McGregor. Cerrone had that big win over Mike Perry, and then now he's calling out Conor McGregor. I don't know how much, excuse me, how much truth there is to this. I'm seeing that Cowboy's calling him out. Cowboy put on Twitter, just waiting on McGregor to sign now. Ooh. So that would imply that there's been a contract offered, Cerrone signed, McGregor hasn't. But I don't know if they do that. So maybe that's just a case of, Cerrone trying to create some hype. Remember when Luke Rockhold was doing the same thing to me? Signed the papers, Mike. And I was like, what are you talking about?
What papers?
There hasn't been... What papers are you talking about? There's been no contract. There's been no discussion of a fight whatsoever, okay? There is no contract, you fucking weirdo, okay?
Sign the papers, Mike. It really is like a lunatic. Like you're dealing with a mentally unstable person.
Sign the papers, Mike. I'm like, I haven't got the papers.
I don't even have a fucking pen.
There's been no talk. I've had no correspondence with the UFC in months. What are you talking about? So maybe Cerrone's trying the old Luke Rockhold trick and trying to generate some interest, some hype. A lot of the time, that's the way to do it. If you get the public talking about a fight, and then it starts getting online momentum, people start, really buying into it, then the UFC often like to book that fight because they know there's public interest. With McGregor, I think it's a different deal. Of course, he's the biggest star they've got. And I think his next move has to be considered very carefully. Now, Cerrone wouldn't be a bad idea because Cerrone's been around a long time, household name, pretty exciting fighter. They'll both talk some shit going into it. And in all honesty, McGregor is very likely to win that fight. What do you think?
I agree that he's likely to win it, but also don't discount Cerrone. Cerrone's almost like another Nate Diaz in the sense that, like, I think people are going to oh, yeah, Conor should win this fight. And then he could just fucking light him up and choke him out. Cerrone's a really, really well-versed jiu-jitsu guy. He's got really, really solid Muay Thai. He's a fucking tough guy. And Conor, honestly, dude, at what point does, his confidence, you're right. You're actually going to be able to shut this down because I talk to you. And when I talk to you, you are the most fucking confident person. And people don't even realize this. Like, I think you genuinely believe that you could beat up any man in the world. It's just a type of confidence you have to have. I know you do. You're sitting there smiling at your face because you really do at the end of the day.
No. I'm sitting there and I'm trying to think. Listen, I recognize there's tough people out there. And I don't think I'm like the toughest man in the world, but I do know that generally I'm not scared of other human beings. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter how big you are or what your credentials you are. If you chat shit, you get banged. Yeah, you know what I mean? No, what I mean is
heavyweight, middleweight, doesn't matter.
Well, exactly. As a fighter, that's just the way it is, and most fighters believe in that. They do. As I said, Donald Cerrone isn't a walk in the park. I said that. And I said McGregor would be likely to win. I didn't say guaranteed he would in an MMA fight. You never know what's going to happen there. But would that be seen as a cop-out for McGregor? You think the fans would buy that and they'd just be happy to see McGregor fighting Cerrone? Or do you think they'd be like, hold on a minute, this is a bullshit fight? Because I know he's pushing for the rematch with Khabib. I don't think he's going to get that. By the way, I might go off on a tangent here. Can we just take a moment, seeing as I mentioned Khabib, can we just take a moment to congratulate that man? I don't know if he's still there, but he was in Nigeria recently, digging wells, creating wells. I don't know if it was his money or whatever, but he was down there helping dig those wells, man, in Nigeria. And I just want to applaud that guy because it is fucking beautiful to see somebody with his platform, his fame, doing that kind of stuff.
What do you mean digging wells, incredible. Though? What do you mean, like digging wells?
For drinking water.
Oh, okay.
To get clean drinking water for the people of Nigeria. He's in some small villages in the middle of nowhere. Pictures on Instagram. He's down there with the whole team, donating money, but of course, getting their hands dirty and getting the job done themselves. And I just think it's beautiful. It really is. I mean, I wish I could do something like that, but I don't know. No one's ever came to me and said, would you want to go build some wells in fucking Nigeria? I would do it. But I just think the fact that
you're putting yourself out there now. Somebody's going to fucking say, well, if you'd like to join my well digging team next month, we're going on an excursion for 3 weeks. And then you're going to have to turn them fucking down.
I said I would love to. I'm very, very busy right now, and I've got a lot of obligations, okay? Maybe at some point in the future, of course, I would love to go on a trek somewhere and help some unfortunate people. And I want to do that. I definitely want to do that, okay? But But right now is a bad time, okay?
We can barely get two
Christmas coming.
podcasts then.
It's Thanksgiving on Thursday,
You know what those people would be thankful for in Nigeria? Some fresh drinking water.
Clean drinking water. And all joking aside, as I say, let's do a slow clap for Khabib. That's amazing. Come on, give it up.
Great job, Khabib. Who would have thought the day that we saw Russians giving clean drinking water to other people? This is crazy.
Why are you going to shit on the Russian?
Everything that Rocky IV taught me. You know what? I take it all back. Because you know what?
Yeah,
I only recently watched the end of Rocky IV. I found out that he's like, if I can change and he can change, we all can change. I didn't watch that until recently. My whole life I've been hating on the Russians, thinking that we were mortal enemies because of the Rocky IV movie. But
you got to watch it to the end, my friend. You got to watch it to the end.
Mike, right now I got to tell you, I'm drinking this amazing lion's mane mushroom tea from our good friends Four Sigmatic. I love it, dude. I love it. I can't drink other coffee now.
The coffee is delicious. And by the way, it is coffee. For all those people that hear mushroom coffee, they think mushroom coffee, doesn't sound like me, although I'm a fun guy to be with. But the coffee is actually coffee. You didn't pick up on the joke? Mushroom is a fun guy.
No, I got it. It was bad. I was ignoring it.
Okay. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter, fun guy or not, I am. But the coffee is delicious, and it is made with 100% organic Arabica beans. It does not taste like mushrooms, as I just said. I brew it the same way as a normal pot of coffee, but it is infused with the mushroom superfoods that are known to support focus and creativity. Now, here's a little bit about the company itself, Four Sigmatic. Mushrooms are a superfood that have been consumed for centuries to live more enhanced lives and are completely overlooked by the Western diet. And that is why I'm recommending Four Sigmatic. They are making consuming mushrooms as simple as brewing a cup of coffee. Obviously. Now, they've sent us a variety of stuff to try out. Of course, the coffee is what we're talking about, but they've also got hot cocoa with lion's mane. They've got matcha with mattiaga. They've got lemonade with chaga. They
Love
have
the
an
lemonade.
abundance of products.
Yeah,
lemonade's great.
Yeah, we're big fans of everything over here. The coffee is my favorite. I just drink so much coffee as it is, and my problem is I drink coffee, and I feel like when you're drinking coffee all the time, it sort of feels like you're not doing something healthy. It feels like you're having there's negative benefits of drinking too much coffee. You feel like, you have too much caffeine or whatever it is. Every time I have another cup of coffee, I sort of feel guilty, like maybe I shouldn't be having another cup of coffee. Let me tell you something. When you're drinking Four Sigmatic, you are getting all of those amazing benefits of the superfood mushrooms. So many different benefits right there. Such an amazing, healthy drink for you to be consuming. So now every time I drink a cup of coffee, it is the opposite feeling. I love them. I think you guys will love them. This is actually one of the best holiday gifts you can get. If you have a friend or a family member who's a coffee drinker, and we all know people who just can't not have a cup of coffee in their hands, this is a great way to change their habit into something that's extremely healthy. So right now, go to foursigmatic.com. That's all spelled out, FOURSIGMATIC.com/believe, and go purchase some amazing coffee for you or your loved ones. Once again, that is foursigmatic.com, all spelled out, and go try it out. I promise you guys will love it. All right, what were we talking about?
So people are saying that Conor Conor's trying to get the rematch with Khabib. Khabib's off fucking saving the world and, being a general awesome dude. I don't think that fight's going to happen anyway. So if Conor's going to continue fighting, he's got to pick that next fight carefully. He could fight Tony Ferguson, but again, Ferguson should fight Khabib. So yeah, Cerrone, I don't know. It's got to be someone like that. It's got to be a winnable fight, because if he loses to like not a champion or not one of the top guys, after losing to Khabib and losing to Floyd, he starts losing that aura in the public perception. You know what I mean? So the next fight for Conor's got to be chosen very carefully. But I do think Cerrone would be a good pick.
It does seem like we're coming to a time where we have a few undefeated guys that are out there that are big. Ben Askren, Israel Adesanya, Khabib. I mean, some high level guys now that we're talking about top ranked, because rarely does a guy get to the point where they're like top 3, top 4, and they stay undefeated. Because at that point, it gets so difficult. You see a lot of younger guys first come into the UFC, they're undefeated. I know there's like a list of all the undefeated fighters. Most of those guys are guys who just, they haven't fought that tough a competition just yet. But we are seeing a few guys. How important is it to have that undefeated or just that air of invincibility? Because Conor, I think he sort of lost the air of invincibility. And I think what would be good with the Donald Cerrone match is it could give him that back. If he has a fucking killer win against Donald Cerrone, who most recently has a highlight reel submission over Perry, just a guy that is so marketable. Just sometimes these guys have been around for so long, they're just like, they've headlined, before, they've headlined pay-per-views before, they've had title shots before. It's a good guy to get a win over, and it's a good guy to have that highlight over. And then all of a sudden, holy shit, Conor McGregor, he's got a crazy knockout in 95 seconds against Donald Cerrone. He's fucking back. You can sell that. But he needs the win. They can't really give him the best guys in the division because I think, to be honest with you, I think Tony Ferguson, Khabib, I think a lot of these guys are going to give Conor McGregor trouble.
100% to give him trouble, to give anybody trouble. And you're right, he needs a big win. He does. And we don't want to turn this episode into the whole Conor McGregor next fight show. But, people are wondering that. And Cerrone is out there pushing for a fight. As you said, it makes sense. And if he did get a massive knockout, yeah, that'd be awesome. But the Cerrone, listen, his best days are behind him. And I say that with the greatest of respect. I do. Everybody has the peaks. The prime as a fighter. I'm not saying he can't still cut it. I'm not saying he can't still win fights. Are his best days behind him? Probably. That doesn't mean I'm insulting the guy. I'm just saying his peak is probably past, just like everybody's does at some time. But he's still a formidable opponent, as Mike Perry just found out. So that's not an insult. So it is a dangerous fight, but it's a good logical next matchup, I think. It'd just be interesting if they did that at 155 or 170, because at 155, they probably would do it at 155. Cerrone would probably, I don't know how big Cerrone is, but McGregor wouldn't have that height and reach advantage on somebody like Cowboy either. So there's that to contemplate as well. But yeah, what else is going on? It's Thanksgiving this week, Lewis. We're doing another show this week, though, on the Thursday, right? Thursday or Friday?
Well, Thursday is actually Thanksgiving, so we could probably do it on
so we won't do that.
We can maybe make it work.
We'll do Friday.
Yes, we could do Friday morning. We'll make it work. We'll do another show this week. We know we were supposed to do another one last week. We just did The Bachelor, which is a very fun episode. 95% of the people loved it, and they were like, dude, this is the funniest thing in the world. And then 5% were like, dude, the best knockout in UFC history. You guys said, fuck it, we're not even going to talk about it.
Yeah, no, I know. As you say, most people loved it. And I had so many nice comments on YouTube, and thank you, everybody. They're like, literally, they're crying with laughter watching this. And it was funny. But yeah, I saw those same comments as well. What are you doing? The greatest knockout ever, and you don't even talk about it, And then they were like, Bisping doesn't like Yair Rodriguez. I have no ill will or any kind of relationship with Yair. I just didn't see it. I was on a mini trip with my wife in New York, and I wasn't watching the fight. I live and breathe UFC, the fights all the time. So if I'm not working that event and I'm out of town with my wife, I'm not going to watch it. And if I haven't seen it, I'm certainly not going to talk about it and break it down like I have seen it on the show, especially when we have the debut inaugural episode of The Bachelor. We had a fine set of bitches to break down and two special guests, Rebecca and Kim, in studio. Sorry, call me stupid. That's where my attention was.
I agree with you. And to be honest with you guys, if I'm being completely honest, because I did watch the knockout, it's not even in my top fucking 5 favorite knockouts. It's good. It was good. It was cool. But am I wrong to? It just didn't. Everyone's freaking out. It's overrated. That's my problem with it. It's almost like when I saw Stranger Things. Finally, I was like, okay, it was good, but let's fucking calm the fuck down, everybody. It's not anything to go crazy about.
Yeah, no, you're right. That is funny because everyone did get blown away with Stranger Things, and it was, as you say, it was good. It was all right. I kind of enjoyed it. I watched the second season, but I wasn't like, oh my God, this is the best show I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. You know what the best show I've ever seen in my life is? And I'm watching it again right now. Game of Thrones, man. Game of Thrones. Oh my word. It's so good. I'm watching it again from the beginning. But we're almost at the end of season 2 right now. Obviously in preparation for the new season coming out, I don't know, March or April next year. When you watch Game of Thrones the first time, I know we've just done a massive shum out the park in terms of what we're talking about, but whatever. When you watch Game of Thrones the first time, you watch it, you enjoy it, it's cool, but you don't really know what's going on completely because the storylines are very complex, and they'll visit a character that they don't revisit for a long time. But then 4 episodes later, they'll just start talking about that character like you're supposed to know who he is and remember his backstory. So, you watch it, you don't really know. When you watch it back a second time, and you fully understand the storylines, the intricacies of the plots, it's phenomenal. It really is. So anybody, please rewatch Game of Thrones in preparation for the new season, which I'm very excited about.
When does the new season start?
Spring next year. So March, April, something like that.
Coming up 2019.
2 years. Yes, coming up soon. And every episode is going to be 2 hours long.
Ooh, oh, fuck me, dude. I'm so excited. First time I watched it, me and my son's mother were together at the time. And we watched the first episode together, like 10 o'clock at night. And I was like, this is fucking great. And then she went to bed. And then I watched the second episode, then the third episode, fourth. 7 a.m, sun's coming up. I'm fucking glued to the TV. I go to bed, and then I lied to her, and I told her I didn't watch it. So I had to actually rewatch the first season, pretend that I didn't know anything. But it was good because you're right. Rewatching it, I started understanding it. She was like, wow, you remember everybody's names. I was like, yeah, you know, it's pretty crazy. It's really like it.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I have to do that because when we were watching Game of Thrones the first time, and then I'd go out of town for whatever reason, traveling, and then she'd be like, don't watch the episode. I'm like, no, I promise. And she'd get pissed off if I did. If I did watch an episode, and I'm sure everybody's had this kind of thing if they're in a relationship. We had the same thing with Breaking Bad. We did what you did, staying up till like 6 a.m. Should we do one more than bed? Okay, one more. Okay, let's go. Fucking losers.
But you know the problem with Game of Thrones, I'm not into that genre. Like I don't give a fuck. I never watched Lord of the Rings. I don't care about fantasy. I don't care about dragons. I know it reminds you of like the home country. So it's a little different for you. But for me, that's so far from like the thing that I'm into. And it's just, it shows you how good the writing is because I fucking love it.
Well, I commented on this last night, actually. Part of the reason, and you're right, I mean, I do love it. A lot of people, they're quick to dismiss it and say, no, I don't do fantasy. I don't like dragons and all that type of stuff. And it's like, come on, listen, that's just a small part of the show. Okay. Once you get past the dragons and all the rest of it, the drama is intense, the action, the suspense, everything. It's fucking awesome.
Son, the dragons are the best fucking part. What are we, crazy? Every one of those dragons come out, I pull my dick out every time. It's crazy.
Yeah, the dragons are amazing. They are, but I'm just saying, if you've like got some bloody built-in problem with dragons, there's plenty of other things to enjoy.
Who has a fucking built-in problem with dragons? Unless you are
a dickhead.
Some asshole.
My mother-in-law, she's out there. She can probably hear me right now. Doesn't want to entertain it because he's got dragons.
She's a real asshole. I'll say it to her face. I don't give a shit.
You gotta get a grip. What are you doing? Those dragons. Do you know the amount of time that went into the CGI for those dragons?
Shame her right now. Shame her right now.
Oh, I fucking will. when I find the goddamn bell.
I love you're shaming your mother-in-law for not liking dragons.
Is she there?
Look how you're afraid you are.
I'm joking. They leave today.